In One Piece chapter 1113, Vegapunk revealed that the One Piece world is going to sink beneath the seas. One Piece is no stranger to utilizing mythology or religious iconography in its world building, and with mentions of rising sea levels, I believe that One Piece is soon going to undertake a tale present in many mythologies and religions, the story of the Great Flood. Here's the thing though, I don't think that this is the first time it's happened. As a matter of fact, I believe that the flooding of the One Piece world has been Imu's plan for a while now. So let's talk about it. Before we can do anything else, we need to accept the theory that the Red Line was constructed and is not a piece of naturally occurring geography in the One Piece world. There's a ton of evidence for this being true, with whales like Laboon bumping into the Red Line for disrupting their migration patterns, or the fact that the tower or the castle on top of the Red Line is known as Pangaea Castle, Pangaea being a reference to when the continents were all together. And so I believe that there is no way that the Red Line can be natural due to its disruption of nature. As a matter of fact, the Red Line's collapse, in my opinion, will occur at the end of the series, bringing Sanji's dream of discovering the All Blue to a close. With that said, the Red Line's construction and enormous height was the first step to Imu and the Gorosei's plan to flood the world. And the reason I feel we know it is them behind this plan comes from a conversation that took place in chapter 908 between the Gorosei, where Nostro in particular states that due to the chaos caused by the Paramount War, the world order as it is can no longer be maintained and is in need of a great cleansing. I knew from the second I read that it would be important, but with Vegapunk's latest declaration that our world is going to sink into the ocean, it instantly made my mind go to the story of Noah's Ark, and might even likely have some connection to the Noah's Ark we've already seen exists in the One Piece world during the Fishman Island arc. For those who aren't familiar with the story of Noah's Ark, the basics are that God was unhappy with his creation of man and wanted to start over almost entirely. He tells Noah, one of the few moral men, to build a massive ark capable of housing 2 of every species on board, and then proceeds to flood the world, wiping out mankind and rebuilding the world in a better way. I think that the connections are pretty obvious. The celestial dragons, the most elite of which being the Gorosei, are often cited as gods in the One Piece world, and Nostro's words of the Great Cleansing incites the idea of an intent to flood the world. Interestingly, we've known about the One Piece world's water rising problem since the days of Water 7, where the Aqua Laguna is causing rises in sea levels every time it hits, which is why Iceberg wants to turn Water 7 into a ship. But why is this happening, and why do I think it's happened before? Well, let's start at the beginning. If we acknowledge that the Red Line is a construct and not natural, that means it was made a long time ago, and likely required advanced technology or is connected to the ability of an incredibly powerful devil fruit, which to me, somewhat perfectly sets it up for a void century creation. The construction of the Red Line would undoubtedly cause massive water displacement, raising sea levels and sinking many of the nations close to it. But certain nations, of course, survived, in particular Skypiea, Fishman Island, and Zou being standouts. Nations that all held poneglyphs, as well as possibly some connection to Joy Boy that already exists or may exist in the future. However, as the construction of the Red Line alone would not be enough to sink the world, the Mother Flame was acquired possibly from the Ancient Kingdom, and used to sink opposition, as we saw what was done to Lulusia. Of course, this also had the added benefit of increasing the sea level every time it was used even more, essentially giving Imu another way of creating his Great Flood. Perhaps it was an acquisition of the Mother Flame that set the Ancient Kingdom to war with what would eventually become the world government, as they were trying to retrieve such a dangerous weapon from Imu, and it was misconstrued into the Great War spoken of in the Void Century that resulted in, of course, the modern world government. I believe the Ancient Kingdom was also sunk by the Mother Flame, leaving Imu dominant over the world to build the world of One Piece as he desired. He determined that he and his allied families could live atop the Red Line as gods, determining what nations were allowed to live and die. At the end of Wano, I think we are shown the most irrefutable proof that the world is flooded in the past, as we see the old Wano being deep underneath the water level. It is likely a result of the massive sea level rising that is what created new Wano's necessity to be built on top of the old one. But why did Imu do this in the past, and why is he doing it again now? Well, Panini's theory, a One Piece theorist on X, really helps tie a lot of this together. Panini posits that the celestial dragons, possibly only Imu and his Gorosei, are not humans like the other celestial dragons, but rather inhabitants that moved from the moon. The moons have been referenced constantly by Oda, and it wouldn't be in his style to do this for no reason. As a matter of fact, Panini's theory builds off the fact that Vegapunk's dream is a land where energy and resources are free to everyone, hinting at the fact that perhaps long ago humanity didn't have the energy to support their needs and advance their societies, and sought to take that from the moon. But why do I think that Imu is from the moon? Well, there are two major reasons. The first is to look at the outfits worn by the celestial dragons. They are spacesuits and could possibly be worn today, referencing the fact that perhaps that was the clothing that Imu wore during the early days with the 20 noble families, and became something just passed on through the generations even after Imu disappeared from public view. The second is of course the notion that Imu possibly has power over the sea. I mean, his name backwards is Umi, which literally means sea, so it's sensible. And what's another real-life construct that holds power over the sea? Well, of course, the moon. But even if Imu landed on Earth to wreak vengeance upon humans that kept attacking his home, why flood the Earth again now? Well, I believe it has to do with what rising sea levels would mean to the person capable of causing him the most problems. Joy Boy, in this case, Luffy. And it is connected to the fact that Devil Fruit users can't swim. There's a really long-standing theory that devil fruits were stolen originally from the land of the celestial dragons. Some of that support comes from the fact that the admirals always seem to get these top-quality devil fruits that are super rare. So, if you believe in the theory that devil fruits were stolen from the lands of the celestial dragons, a sensible theory, and were then branded as devil fruits due to the devils being the antithesis of the celestial dragon gods, and these devils are the ones who stole it, then the awakening of the Nika Nika no Mi might have been the final straw that mandated Imu to hit the reset button and try once more to rebuild the Earth from his perch on the red line one more time. This time, in exactly his image. I firmly believe that the Great Flood is coming to the One Piece world, and when it strikes, I wouldn't be surprised if it was revealed to us this was not the first time. Hey guys, so I'm not normally a theorist, and these won't be my regular style videos, but I hope you were able to at least find some enjoyment in it, even if my theory isn't 100% bulletproof. That said, if you enjoyed this video, you might like some of my other anime-related content. A playlist should be on screen now taking you there. Or perhaps you want to listen to me talk about another animated IP like Avatar: The Last Airbender, in which case you can check out my video on the relationship between Iroh and Zuko and why it is perfection. Be sure to follow me on Twitch, X, and Medium, links all in the description below, but whatever it is you choose to do next, I hope you have an awesome day. Peace.